No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. Especially with this video, considering that I'm going to be talking about comedy, meaning that I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I offer no apologies. We received a bit of interesting news with the writers and actors strike. They actually came to an agreement. Now, I don't know what the terms are exactly. I've heard rumors about pay distribution and a minimum number of writers being required for each project, which I don't know. I think the minimum number should probably be 1, but whatever, Hollywood. You can pay as many people as you want to stand around and do nothing. I, for one, will be canceling a lot of my streaming services because the prices are about to double or triple. But I am glad that they found some sort of solution to the pay and AI issues. It's still probably not great, but whatever. I'm happy when artistic people are getting paid for good work. Of course, the immediate news I got after the strike concluded was that they were going to reboot The Office. And that's kind of like a worker at a restaurant loudly proclaiming that they got a raise and don't need tips anymore, only for them to immediately start spitting in everyone's food, no matter how polite the customers have been.
Did it, Patrick! We saved the city! Just think what might have happened if we didn't tell everyone about the monster!
About the what?
Now, don't get me wrong, more stories about the office life can easily work, especially with how weird things are right now in employment after the lockdowns and social distancing. In all actuality, I bet this doesn't have much of anything to do with the original series, or at least it shouldn't. It should be a completely different location, business, and set of people. Using the office name because people love recognizing familiar names, jingle the keys in front of them. That's all that really matters right now. Is the name brand recognizable? Yeah, then let's bring it back. But oddly enough, this one can actually work pretty well. An OG showrunner, Greg Daniels, is coming back for it. This is a man that worked on King of the Hill and Parks and Rec as well. So he has the credentials, but he's also 60 and has been living in the Twilight Zone for a bit too long. After all, he was given Space Force with Steve Carell, and somehow that didn't work. The show just kept flip-flopping between how stupid the Space Force idea seems and the fact that the human race desperately needs to start looking outside of our planet before we kill it. It was a show with nothing really to say, and that is the worst kind of art. Even with all of that, The Office 3.0 could be really good if they had a great cast and if they have writers who are willing to poke fun at everything, meaning that it has absolutely no chance other than to be mediocre slop that people will forget about in about 5 minutes. I can see audiences loving it at first, but then it rapidly fading. They will not be able to quote a single line. Do you know how many people I know that can quote entire scenes from The Office without a single mistake? 2, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that I found 2 of them. In all honesty, the key to making all of this work is simple. The manager needs to be a female version of Michael Scott. And yes, that means that she needs to be as absurd and out there as Michael is. But of course, that means that I hate women. It's not like her assistant could be a woman with a lot of common sense who can outright say whenever the Michael replacement is right or wrong about something. So yes, my idea is to combine Michael Scott and Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec. But if you do not see the potential of that character, I do not know what to tell you.
You're still here?
Here's an example of a possible pilot. This alternate Michael, who I will be calling Michelle from now on, just for convenience sake, has decided that there aren't enough women in the office, even though it's about 50 to 45%. People note that a woman recently quit because of Michelle's tendency to micromanage everyone, but Michelle won't hear it. As more people come in to interview for the position, Michelle announces to all of the men in the waiting room that they should leave because she's only going to hire a woman for the position. This gets the attention of the bubbly HR representative. Think anti-Toby. So, Tammy. She happily praises Michelle for being a powerful ally to equal rights, but notes that Michelle can't deny people an interview or a job because of their sex or gender. It opens the company to lawsuits. Equal rights for everyone has to include everyone, Michelle. You can't just say that you're going to discriminate against someone. That goes against the rules. You have to do it secretly with a plausible excuse.
But, isn't it the same thing?
Yes, but one of them gets us sued and a lot of threats from angry men online. Kay, thank you. I appreciate you. Never mention this conversation to anyone or I'll tell everyone that you stuff your bra. Bye. Cut to Michelle's shocked and disgusted face. She mentions that she needs to go to HR, but then she realizes that Tammy is HR and then starts cussing. Now, you see, the joke here is that the HR rep is a terrible person who talks out of both sides of her mouth. We're not supposed to like her. It's supposed to be outrageous comedy. You remember what comedy is, right?
That's not funny. That's not...
Then the episode transitions to Michelle taking her assistant Pam to City Hall to change the law. She can't go through the metal detectors because of her metal hips and a plate in her head. She notes that they happened during a rock climbing trip. A male instructor told her not to go on a course. She thought he was being sexist, but he actually meant that she wasn't skilled enough to do an advanced course alone after 2 weeks of training. A female instructor later told Michelle that he had been right. Of course, a female security officer has to pat Michelle down to let her into town hall, but Michelle does not consent to it. As such, they are not allowed entry. Michelle makes a scene screaming about her rights. Meanwhile, Pam just looks on, rubbing her forehead, wishing that she was anywhere else in the world right now. Meanwhile, the assistant manager Doug and their top salesperson Billy replace Michelle during the interviews. Doug is a complete and total nihilist who despises his job and is constantly looking at his phone because he doesn't see the point in anything. Billy is a hardcore right-leaning man who wears American flags all over his shirt and says the most outrageous things, but he has a weird charm to him. Doug's complete inability to care and Billy's super offensive comments drive most of the applicants away, but they do manage to find the most qualified candidate for the job. It just so happens to be a beautiful woman. They're not trying to be pigs or trying to get on the new hire's good side at all. They definitely only care about the fact that she is a highly educated woman that would be a good fit for the office.
Right.
Defeated, Michelle comes back with Pam to see that Doug and Billy hired a woman. She's elated that Doug and Billy were such good allies. Michelle promises to be the best boss and role model possible for the new hire. This is when a cop comes into the office to bring Michelle's purse up. To avoid being arrested, Michelle flirted with the cop and agreed to go on a date. Disturbed by the weirdos in the office, the new hire runs away, never to return. Michelle knows that she was wrong for pushing the idea of forcing a woman into a position that she might not want. Doug and Billy showed her that men can be great allies to women. Things aren't perfect yet, but they'll work together to make things better each day. Pam asks her if she's okay with using benevolent sexism to get out of trouble. Michelle notes that there's nothing wrong with using what her mama gave her to get ahead, but she will not put out on the first date. Okay, she might if it goes well. He was kind of cute. Cue music. I think these types of characters would make for a lot of interesting episodes. Huh? What is that? What do they even do? I don't know. If they're not selling paper, they should do something equally mundane and stupid. Oh, what about a web hosting and software company? There you go. And none of them know anything about their products at all. They can have a vegan guy who throws away all of his beliefs at a moment's notice when things get tough. There's a crypto bro who's always involved in get-rich-quick schemes. There could be a woman attempting to be a streamer, but she doesn't get attention because she doesn't want to show her body or do OnlyFans. And there could be the most annoying type of person of all, a hardcore cyclist. Bleh, disgusting. And to be fair, and I don't mind getting made fun of myself, there could be a character who's an aspiring author that thinks that they are way better than what they actually are. There you go. There could be a wide range of stories. Billy says something offensive, so he almost gets fired again, but he's saved by his lawyer wife, who is surprisingly good at her job and tolerates him. Michelle takes everyone's phones away for a day, causing them to freak out. Doug repeatedly quits, but comes back because he can't find another job because he doesn't care about anything. The new open position could make it so that a new person joins the office every episode as a running joke. Layoffs could be announced, but the new position could still be hiring because it's lower paying, forcing someone to take that position instead of what they're already making. And the key to this is, what would a female version of Michael Scott do? A well-meaning boss who goes way too far and is a little bit stupid. And then you add in the manipulative HR woman, a nihilist who only cares about flirting with Pan, and a Murica guy who only has a job because he's really good at selling things to rednecks. This leaves a lot of room for character growth and development. I could sit here listing funny scenario after funny scenario, but I don't see anyone in Hollywood actually doing this. I see them either attempting the magic of the US office beat by beat, or by taking out all the heart and comedy of the show. I swear, they should make potential writers give a presentation on what they think of the joke, "That's what she said." I think that's a good litmus test of how this is going to end up, because if someone isn't willing to risk offending everyone and going all in with a female Michael Scott, then they probably should stay away from comedy. You're welcome to disagree with me. That's fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
Please, please, please don't cancel me.
Please consider giving me a like and subscribing. It would really help me out. And hey, do you like stories about an interconnected world? Then consider giving my LP Shield books a try. They are all connected in some way, but you can jump in at any point, unless it's a series. Then you have to start at the beginning. But I got 3 books out right now and 3 coming next year. You will not have to wait long for content. Either way, thank you. I appreciate you. Do not despair.